Hello out there. It's a historic stream today. We're on the air. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Bitcoin Journey. This show focuses on actionable and logical discussion for Bitcoiners and for future Bitcoiners. We're trying to get as many people on the ship, on the boat, before this thing goes. It is a historic stream today, and it has nothing to do with $100,000 Bitcoin. That's just kind of tried to trick people into coming in here. So if you're here for 100,000 Bitcoin pump stream, I'll tell you right now, you're in the wrong spot. It is going to be a good show, though. This is going to be a documentation of where we are right now. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about strategy. We're going to talk about Berkshire Hathaway. We're going to talk about Michael Saylor. We're going to talk about Warren Buffett. We're going to talk about everything that's happening right now. It's crazy. It's truly, I mean, it's not crazy. It's pretty overdue, honestly, but still fun to be a part of it. Look at this. We got our first comment of the day. Killer 76. Oh no, we got the lights are cutting out here. Again, if your lights aren't flickering, you're short Bitcoin. Okay, what's going on, Zapstream? We should share this with you. We do have. Oh, look at that, Letha with the first zap of the day. 2.1 thousand sats. Thank you, Letha. Great start. Great start to the zaps today. It is going to be a good show. It might be a long one. We'll see. It might be a short one. Who knows? Never know what's going to happen here on the show. But we should share it with Noster. We should let Noster know that we're live. But don't forget here, I think I saw Rick in the chat already. Before we get too far down the road, let's press that on the way in. Let's see if we can set a new record. I'm sure there's a lot of people looking for some Bitcoin fun, and that's where. Here it is. Here it is. I share this with Noster every day, and it has the same title every day. No one is coming to save you. I mean, it's true. I'm happy it's that title at least. No one is coming to save you. But yeah, press the like. Let's smash some records today. I think we're due. I want to smash the record for people watching. Hey, people watching, likes, and maybe even zaps, the most important metric. But yeah, press it, comment, like, share it. Let's get this thing going around. I got a really important topic that I want to talk about, and this is a historic stream for the third time, and I got 3 stars in front of it because I want to remember this. I want to bookmark this. And I was actually going to change it from something to do with the price, just so I knew that it was historic beyond that. But anyways, I didn't have time. I had a lot going on this morning. Anyways, cheers, everybody. Thanks for being here today. Perfect temperature, perfect day. Got some sunshine, 14 degrees here, and it is golf league tonight. So how could we go wrong? Okay, that's what I want you to do though right now. Here's the challenge for the next 1 minute. Take this show, take the link for it, and share it on your favorite platform. That could be Noster, that could be Twitter, Instagram, probably not. Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever you use the most, share this stream on there today. This is an important episode. A historic one, some might even say. So let's see what's going on here before we get too far into things. Cleaning Machine, good morning. Matt, Ian, good morning, Ian. Ian says, got it. I was typing in Killer, snuck in. Wow, all those happened in 1 minute. Killer, Cleaning Machine, Matt, and Ian. Whew. Killer has a laugh at that. He knows nobody's taken his title. And then 1 minute later, we had Laughpad, Santino, Bodie. Bitcoin generations. Santino, one of our Bitcoin journeymen here. Lights are still flickering. That's okay. You know, we're going to get through it. Holy. Can't even see this guy. He's losing it. I see Arizona got sneaky and passed their Bitcoin reserve bill after it was vetoed. Odd, but cool. 2 states down, and my Dallas Stars got the win last night. Santino, I would bet Winnipeg versus Dallas, but I don't really care that much. I watched it. I watched some of the game. It was actually a good game. But I'm not putting any sats on the line for that. Buck 52, J-Dog. Ginger says, my DCA is not liking the price. I'm liking it. You know, I get sad, but I also get glad because I know what this brings. This is going to bring another crop of investors for a while until the green light comes on in their mind, and then they become Bitcoiners. Everybody starts as an investor. Everybody's looking for a place to park their cash that isn't going to lose value. And they usually start with gold. They usually start with silver, and it leads them to Bitcoin. The shorter time they spend in gold and silver, the faster they arrive at Bitcoin. It's a very quick transition for some, very long and painful transition for others. Ian says, to think the U.S. states are going to buy Bitcoin. Years ago, this was the dream. What a time to be alive. I mean, yeah, that's the tweet. I didn't even have this ready to go, but I did see it this morning. So let's start with this because it's true. Let's start with, it was David Bailey, who has been kind of like the Bitcoin rails to Trump. So, I mean, in the public eye, I think Trump's been in Bitcoin longer than all of us combined, or at least part of the Bitcoin transition. I'll say that. But yeah, David Bailey says, where was this now? There's too much going on, too many posts. Where is it? I don't know. He said something. Oh, I forgot about this one. Okay. We're going to... Yeah, anyways, I can't find the tweet, but David Bailey said, we warned you or something. Hope you took the time to get some Bitcoin. Basically saying like the US announced that they were going to be buying Bitcoin, and hopefully you took advantage of it. So seems like we're at that moment right now. But let me share this. This is, I know this is a Bitcoin show, but this Bitcoin show has been talking about Ethereum for many months now, many years, you might even say. You could actually look back on my channel and see how long I've been bashing Ethereum. But I came across this video today, and it is definitely worth sharing. There's too much going on in the clip to even explain what it's about. But it's about Ethereum, and it is a 10 out of 10 video. So as I get that loaded up here, we'll get through a few more chats. Rick Robinson. Good morning, Rick. Santino says, I feel you on that. I got paid today, checked the price, and was like, fuck. Looks like the summer's going to be epic. Paulo. Good morning. Frank. Good morning, Jordan family. Keep stacking sats. That's right. Reminder one more time, if you haven't yet, you can press the like button if you feel like it, if you feel like helping the channel. If not, screw you. Ian says, yeah, because Santino people won't believe Bitcoin was this cheap and that we witnessed this massive move once things got going. Yes. Ian, keep that in mind for the next half hour here. That makes me think of a tweet or a quote we're going to share. Morrow. Haven't seen Morrow. Morrow must be back for the 100K party today. Good morning, Morrow. Okay, let's watch this video. This is too good not to. Lapad about to whip out the coffee over here. Is it a DCA? That is a DCA. And is the lowest one yet. which means that the price of Bitcoin is up. That is our metric. We'll get to the DCA in just a sec here. Thank you, LaughPad. LaughPad keeps the lights on, although they are flickering. They are flickering. Okay. Let's check this out. This is just for a good laugh. I mean, we deserve this once in a while. We as Bitcoiners, we take a lot of shit from a lot of people. And it's nice to get a laugh in once in a while. But I've been talking about this for a while, a very long time, years. Go back on my channel, look at the early videos. They're pretty bad, but you're going to see a theme here. And the theme has been, regardless of what the fiat price of Ethereum gets to, it's going to go down against Bitcoin forever. And it has. And if you look at the chart don't lie. So this is a video I came across. I don't know who this guy is. I don't really care. But he took the words right out of my mouth in a little more casual dressed way, a little more body hair than me. And I don't really trust people who smoke inside, but I trust this guy.
Currency do you think they'll use?
Everyone, the Ethereum Foundation is a piece of shit retard. Vitalik literally looks for the most retarded people and then hires them. He's like, "Are you a virtue signaling retard? You're hired." As a matter of fact, here's the treasury. Give out grants to more retards. Wow, I can't believe ETH is dying. I can't believe no one's using it. ETH is such a fucking joke. Like, ETH is a joke, Vitalik's a joke, the foundation's a joke, everyone they've hired is a joke. Everyone other relating to it is a joke. The KOLs pushing it are jokes. Bankless fucking joke. Just everyone within ETH, every .ETH is just trash. There's no one that's in that web that isn't just complete fucking trash. And the sad thing is a whole lot of us held, we fucked up, but we own up to it. Like, you're not going to be telling us about ETH and having us defend it. No, there's nothing to defend. We fucked up. Then you have these retarded .ETHs. They will still defend it. They're like, "Oh, you're funding it. You know what that means? It's the bottom." And they say this like every week for like 2 years. You've got to be a special kind of retard to keep saying that and keep being publicly wrong. You can literally pull up an ETH chart, pull up their tweets, paste them on, superimpose them, and it's like worse than 50 IQ. It's not even left curve. You have to go like, I don't know, 6 sigma to the left to find out how retarded they are. It's worse than special ed. There should be a new Special Olympics for these retards. I don't know where they belong. Just lock them away and never let them tweet. Never let another human being interact with them. It's worse than like rat poison.
I don't know. Couldn't have said it better myself. Down Troll says, "Is it normal for me to feel stressed to start to have a decent amount of Bitcoin? Stressed of making a mistake and losing it?" Yes, 100%. That's, you know what? When I was making my thumbnail today, that said, "Are you ready for what's coming?" That's exactly what I was thinking of, is that there's going to be so many people like Don Troll here who sees their value of their Bitcoin going up. They've been kind of looking at their fiat price for a while now, and they're thinking like, okay, that's a small percentage. That's a small part of my portfolio. But as this goes, and it hasn't really even started yet to go yet, but as this goes, people are going to be like, holy, this is all of a sudden 20% of my net worth. This is all of a sudden half of my net worth. This is all of a sudden worth more than my house. Maybe I should find a better way to secure this instead of leaving it on a ledger or on a hot wallet or something. So yes, you should absolutely be feeling stressed. You get it onto a cold storage device. You learn how to use that. You learn how to protect your 12 words. Keep that in the safest place on the planet. And then you go forward. And then you move up to the next one. You get that into a multi-sig. And you get a couple different devices. And then you take the single point of failure out of the equation, which is you. And then eventually you take those 24 words from each of the multi-sigs and you encrypt that. And you build in an inheritance plan into that. And then you're going to sleep better and you're going to have less stress. And you don't have to worry about making a mistake. You don't have to worry about somebody breaking into your house. You don't have to worry about your house burning down and all of your Bitcoin going up in flames with it. But it happens slowly. You just have to take a little bit of action right off the start. The first step is getting it offline into a cold card. That's it. It's not that hard to do. It's going to take a little bit of money, a little bit of time. There's people out there who can help you with that, like me, like Bitcoin Citadel, and plenty of others around the world. And then you just evolve, because that is a very bad feeling. And I've felt that for a lot of years before I took my Bitcoin security seriously. And it is night and day, truly. So yes, it's absolutely normal. It should cause a little bit of action, but you just have to take that first step. You have to take that first step, and you have to get your Bitcoin off of the exchanges. Don't rush it. You know, if you're not ready, that's again, this is an unpopular opinion within Bitcoin. But if you're not ready to do it, don't do it yet. But take action in terms of either investing some time, a weekend or two, to learn how to protect that Bitcoin, at least off the exchange. And don't shortcut it either. Don't watch like a half an hour video and think that you can do it, because there's a lot of moving parts to it. It's easy to do, but you can mess something up in that process. So either you're going to have to invest a little bit of time, or you're going to have to invest a little bit of money for somebody who has done it hundreds of times to help you with it. So definitely normal, but that means you need some action. If you're feeling stressed, if you're not sleeping well, if you have any sort of concerns about you waking up one day and your Bitcoin not being in your wallet, you having the keys to that Bitcoin, then take action, because you want to do it now before it gets serious. By the time it gets serious, there's going to be a lot of different vulnerabilities, and you might have a lot more difficulty and issues actually getting something like a cold card or a hardware device. So if you've been watching the show for a while, I've been saying this for the last couple months, even years. Even if you weren't 100% ready to set up a hardware device, you should at least get one in your own hands. So then when the time comes, you're not scrambling. Jeff, do you think we'll have a big bear market, Joe? Do you think we'll have a big bear market, Joe, or is the 4-year cycle broken? I think it's over, Jeff. I don't know for sure. Obviously, we're going to see drawdowns, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. And I think the drawdown that we have might be from like $500,000 to $300,000. And I feel bad for the people who are out there right now who are waiting for the price of Bitcoin to come down to some crazy number that a YouTuber told them it was going to. The amount of sats that have been foregone because they saw some chart and listened to some bozo on the internet tell them that Bitcoin's going to go lower. So much. So just whatever you have right now, just put it into Bitcoin. The bucket. Fill your bucket with Bitcoin. That's what I was going to name today, but I'll explain why in a little while here. Paul says, my soon-to-be ex-financial advisor tells me on behalf of his Fidelity bros who are close to Carney, claim that investments and the dollar are on the rise in Canada. Okay. I would just like to know how. Although Trump had a meeting with Carney the other day. I think there's more to Carney than I know and we know. I don't know. I really don't know about that dude. Obviously, he's a horrible, horrible human being, but Trump seems to like him. And, I don't trust Trump on all fronts, but there's usually some sort of, something underneath the words and the things that he does. There's always an underlying thing going on. Oh, Zapstream's buzzing. I missed these. Sorry, everybody. Got in a little rant there. Okay, what do we got here? We got Craig over in the Zapstream. Craig zapped 2.1 thousand sats saying Arnie Insurance, live free or die. Love that. Thank you, Craig. Daniel zapped 888 sats. Thank you, Daniel. And Daniel also zapped 1,000 sats saying good morning, Craig and Letha. All right. Josh is in the chat, and Josh now has the zap of the day with 8,888 sats, a legendary zap from Josh. Thank you, Josh. Very, very, very supportive fella for the show. also gave me this hat. Speaking of Trump, that is an official white and gold Make America Great Again hat from Josh. Actually from Josh's brother, who imported it across the border and sent it. It was my first piece of mail from somebody else out there. So pretty cool. And speaking of live free or die, the New Hampshire, Mike sent this in the mail, a little Trump bobblehead. Take America Back 2024. So those are two pieces of mail that I received. I guess people like that I like Trump. I don't know. I'm sure I lost like 10,000 people from the show because of that. But, you know, you got to stand up for what you believe in. So who cares? But thank you, Mike. Thank you, Josh. And thank you for the zaps there. Daniel also says another zap. Daniel's hot on the zaps today. Nice fatty, Josh. And Daniel also says Carney is one of the biggest losers of all time. Trump embarrassed him. True. And Daniel says, I'm zapping all over the place. Not even trying to. He must have automatic 1,000 sat zap there on his comments. Well, thank you, Daniel. Whether you meant to or not, thank you. That's funny. Morrow says, "What's the zap high score, Jor? Maybe we'll be good to break it often." I don't think we're. It's the exact same as like our Bitcoin wallets here. There's going to come a day where our Bitcoin wallet is going to hit like an all-time high, not in price, but in sats. The fiat price, the purchasing power of those sats will go up forever, but the sat amount, the Bitcoin amount, will hit an all-time high. Because whatever we start putting into it, maybe we put $1,000 in, $2,000 at that time, that's going to buy us like 20,000 sats. And hopefully we'll be spending some of our sats. So our balance will go down. It won't go much higher. It also won't go down that much higher either if you factor in the purchasing power of it. But maybe we've already hit the zap all-time high on the show. Like there's going to come a day where that's going to happen. It might have already happened. I don't know what the high score is, but last week, BitBilly had a behemoth zap of over 100K. And there's another couple more in there. So I'm thinking to be close to 2 for a show. But that might be the all-time high because these sats are going to become more valuable. And I know Bitcoiners are very supportive and stuff. And a sat is a sat in our world. But I still think there'll come a time when both our wallet and these things like this, like zaps for the high zaps, it will hit an all-time high and we'll never see that again. Yeah, anyways. Do you guys think I was going to have my orange hoodie on today, by the way? I feel like Polymarket should have bets on like what color hoodie, what color hat, what kind of mug. It's kind of strategic and kind of random, so it would be a good betting site. You know, I was late a couple minutes today. I also put on this is a historic stream, so I even put on a little bit of beard cream today. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's a little bit shinier. Little shiny face action there. Terry, haven't seen Terry for a while, or maybe he's been in the chat but not chatting. Duncan, good morning, my friend. Jake, bon matin. Is happy birthday appropriate today? No, it is the 8th. It is the 8th, but it's not the 8th. It's not this month. Ranting with the Hattie. Yeah, the bugger. Abel says, just hit 2 million SAS today and signed up for Strike. Love that. Love that. Watts. Excited for our future. Me too. Me too. Trump is a maxi. Good morning, Nick. Definitely is. Yeah, I think he's... Again, I think he's been a Bitcoiner longer than all of us, and he's a bigger maxi than most of us. He just doesn't like to admit it. He's a shyster. He's a He's a look over here, do something over here kind of guy. Tells it like it is, but there's always something else going on with that guy. Yesterday, Google lost value of Disney out of their market cap. Wow. Bitcoin just purring. I guess you guys will tell me when we hit 100K. We're not going to have it on the screen or anything like that, but I'm hoping you guys will keep me updated with that. Not quite yet. Hey, look at this. The Bitcoin nurse. Good morning from Tennessee, the future home of 88 Sats Radio. Maybe. Good morning, Bitcoin nurse. Love that name. Love that name. Oh, look at that. Over in the Zap stream. The Bitcoin nurse just zapped 100 Sats. Wow. Love that on both. Comment on YouTube. Get the algorithm going. Leave a zap. The real currency. Thank you. Thank you. Letha says, yes, Daniel, that was a great meeting. Watched it twice. Carney looked foolish. Yeah, I love seeing that too. Josh says the Carnster is a central banker. That alone makes me know he's scum. Yes, he is scum. These guys have created the whole problem in the first place. I say fuck him regardless of his so-called liberal branding image of being the savior. Yep. I mean, the nice thing is, like, I don't even care. I posted something last night, and because I was watching a video, and I think for some reason YouTube Next Up gave me like a news conference or a CTV news or something, even though every time I see them I click not interested just so they leave me alone and, you know, hopefully take a hint. But I was thinking, like, because the news anchor came up and he started talking about something. He's like, the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, did this today. And I'm like, number one, who is still watching this? Number two, who is still showing up to work at these media stations, media outlets, knowing that everybody thinks and everybody knows that every word that comes out of their mouth is bullshit? So who's watching them? Who's showing up for work? And then that also led me to, there are still people who watch that, even though there's people who, you know, who go to work. There's people who watch it, even though everybody knows it's bullshit. They still tune into it. And so the post that I made, I mean, it's kind of, hate sharing my own post, but that's kind of on this subject, was peak fiat world is knowing the news is fake, but still watching it and letting it form the majority of your opinions. Like, it literally does not, it could not get any crazier than that. People actually know that every word that they say is a lie, but yet they still tune into it to catch the news. And then without knowing, that subconsciously seeps into their opinions on things. And Bitcoin is a big part of that, right? Like, people know the news is a lie. The news says Bitcoin is rat poison, but then people believe Bitcoin is rat poison. I heard it on the news, because they don't have any other resource or research or time into Bitcoin. So I don't know. I don't get it, but Bitcoin will fix everything here. Truly. All we need now is global adoption as a reserve currency. You should go watch the video that I posted the other day. I think, or yesterday it was. I said the only thing missing in Bitcoin before it really explodes is time. And I think we got a long way to go before it gets to be a currency. I think it will be a store of value first. I'll give you the Cole's notes of the video, but I encourage you to go check it out. We need a lot more time, for one. That's kind of the only drawback to Bitcoin right now, is that it lacks time, especially compared to something like gold that's been around for hundreds of thousands of years. But store of value, remittances, that's what it's going to be used for next. Then it's going to be accepted at businesses around the world. And then it's going to be demanded at businesses around the world, which means first, businesses will accept it. They'll see the marketing play there. They'll see some savings and fees. We got a light show in here. And then they'll realize that the fiat dollar is screwed, totally screwed. And there's no turning it around. And so they'll go from accepting Bitcoin to demanding Bitcoin and saying, you know what, we actually only accept Bitcoin. And then from there, that's when it becomes a currency, because people are going to need to buy things. And when the people who create things only accept Bitcoin, people are going to be forced to use it as a currency. So you have the option to voluntarily get into the Bitcoin network today, but most people will wait until they're forced to. And I don't think it's going to be because they realize that all of their other investments are losing. That's like the rich people. The average person is going to be forced to use Bitcoin when businesses only accept Bitcoin. So we got a long ways to go before there, but that's why we're here. That's the opportunity. What's this? ISO? Becomes more and more expensive to get sats. I need more time to accumulate. Well, yeah, agree. But I think about that all the time. It's like, man, I don't have enough Bitcoin. But then I realize that if I don't have enough Bitcoin, then I do have enough Bitcoin, because that Bitcoin is going to be worth a lot. And I don't really need that much. So that's what kind of gives me, oh, we're laughing at the Ethereum here. Gotcha. I was wondering what happened. The funny thing about this light is, so it has two lights up there, two lights in the little outlet. And it was flickering for about 2 weeks, and I just kept procrastinating. I just had the lights off in here because I didn't want to change it. So I finally changed it. And then the other one went out. After a couple weeks of procrastinating and just leaving the lights off in here, changed it. And then the other one went out like 2 days later. So it'll probably be another couple weeks of flickering here. Okay. Isn't the whole Bitcoin Core thing kind of trying to turn Bitcoin into ETH? No, I don't think that that's the thing there. I haven't really shared my thoughts on that very much yet. And I was kind of waiting to, I mean, there's a lot of people talking about it. Bitcoin Mechanic is who I've been kind of paying the most attention to lately. I like his message. I mean, I see both sides of it, really. I do. I understand both points of view. I don't really know who's driving it. That's what I'm still unsure of, is who's trying to drive this change. Because the whole thing is that they're trying to, basically their theory on this is that people are already using the blockchain for spam. They're already putting JPEGs on there. They're already, encoding things through the op return feature. It's already happening. So if it's already happening, why don't we just accept reality and change our filter to not filter it anymore? So whoever's running a node can have a more accurate depiction of the mempool. Because if you filter out certain transactions, then you might underpay for your Bitcoin fees. That's kind of their argument there. But it's like, okay, well, if nothing's going to change, then why do we have to change anything at all? Bitcoin is designed to be very as is. I think it's designed to be hard to change. And so why are we pushing through changes if it's not going to really change anything? That's kind of my take on it. So it's like, for me, I don't think we need to change anything. I also think that the other side of it, the not side, I think that there's also risk there, in the sense that there's basically been one guy reviewing it for the last, I don't know how many years. So both sides kind of have vulnerabilities. I think the good thing here, though, that we have to remember is that things like this are going to come up, and things like this are probably going to come up even faster and even more serious. So I think the thing that this has done is it's got people to actually learn about how changes happen on the Bitcoin network. It's gotten people to start running a node, or start at least looking into running a node. And that's a very net positive for Bitcoin. So it seems like these two parties are kind of going back and forth. It's more of an ego thing to me, in my mind. Not going to change too much either way, but it's getting a lot of Bitcoiners to start paying attention, which is very important. So that's kind of my take on it. I haven't done anything yet. I'm still running Core, but I obviously haven't done the update. I don't even know if the update's been pushed through yet or not. I think it has, but anyways, it's I might switch to knots. Actually, on that note, this is a good segue here. Epic shoulder hair. I would smoke indoors too. Oh, that's good stuff. That is great. Said what he said. Yeah, ETH is terrible. Hey, Crypto Princess, good morning. Good day, ladies and gents. Yeah, that was good stuff. Nick says cold cards are about to disappear from the shelves. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying. Is that once people realize that they need a cold card, there might not be any cold cards left. Of course, they can produce more. Of course, they can. But how long are you going to wait? Do you want to be in that stressful environment where you're losing sleep over the value of your Bitcoin, or should you just act? I suggest you act. So I'm going to look at. We're actually going to check out a video here, and I'm going to show you a couple different links. So just wait. If you're looking for a cold card, I just put a link in the chat there. You get 5% off a cold card. Again, I would order one. I'd order two, maybe even three. Just get them in your possession. If you have the means to do it, don't sell any Bitcoin for it. Well, you know, I've been saying don't sell any Bitcoin, but I do think that this stuff is very important. So I don't know. You can also pay in Bitcoin on the site too. But either way, find a way to get a cold card because you're going to need one. Oh, we're running pretty hot here. Okay. I want to show you this. I want to show you a couple different channels here. So let's take about 2 minutes here, and I want to buzz through a couple different channels for you. So this is actually a brand new channel. Satoshi 21. This was her first video, and I actually had a run-in with her on YouTube comments or Nostr or something. And I said, she's like, I've been putting off starting a channel, but you motivated me to start one. So I don't know if that's true or not, but anyways, this is Satoshi. Great name. I think her name is Natasha, but Satoshi 21. She's got 22 subscribers. One of them is me. I didn't even like the video. I am a subscriber though, and this one's got 300 views already. So this is going to show you exactly how to switch from Bitcoin Core to knots on a Start 9. And I thought it was a very well done video. It's
if you are using a Start 9,
she's got some very good tips in there, some good information. She didn't show her face on here, which I have zero issues with. Probably if I was about to start another Bitcoin channel, I would probably keep my face off of there, to be honest with you. So check out the channel. Make sure you go and subscribe to her. I'll put up the link here for everybody. Look at that. Her username on YouTube is Natasha Quinn 88. I don't know. There it is right there in the chat. So make sure, do me a favor here. Go and subscribe to her channel. If she starts posting some crap, then you can unsubscribe. But that's my ask of you today is go subscribe to Natasha's channel. Satoshi. Love that. And if you're looking for a really good resource to use for switching from core to knots, she did a very good walkthrough there. It's only 4 minutes long. There's no BS. You know, that's a problem with a lot of that's why I stopped doing tutorials, because I had too much BS in there. I couldn't just cut to the point. But I mean, we're different, right? Everybody's different. So I want to give you a couple more here, a couple more channels for you to check out. Number one, Maple Bitcoin. I don't know. I kind of assume that the majority of people here are subscribed to Maple Bitcoin, but I don't know. Between Forrest, Rajat, and my channel, there's not a whole lot of people there. So I just put that in the chat too. Make sure you head over to Maple Bitcoin. We're going to be posting a very good video today. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Oh, no, you can't see it. Sorry. But it's a tier list. A tier list. We took about 15 assets: gold, silver, real estate, Berkshire Hathaway shares, Apple, Nvidia, Bitcoin, Ethereum, fiat, everything. And we put it into like a list of S-Class, A, B, C, D, and trash. So I'm not going to tell you. Actually, I don't even have the link yet. It's going to be posted in 40 minutes from now. So after the show ends, make sure you go check out Maple Bitcoin, that video today, and consider subscribing to the channel. Help boost those numbers a bit. Okay, we got a couple different zaps here. Let's do. Oh, I want to share a couple more with you. Otis, the best name in Bitcoin. Otis Hare Jr. Otis might be in the chat today, although I don't know. He sometimes shows up. I think he's more of a late riser, like Jerry. But Otis Hare Jr., I want you to check out his channel. He's got some really good videos there. I like Otis. I like the way he speaks. I like his videos because they're very genuine and unscripted, kind of like mine. I think that's what people like. That's what I've noticed anyways. There's a time and place for like fancy graphics and really, upbeat stuff, and scripted and edited. But for me, I just like to listen to people talk, because when people are talking without a script, and you can tell it's coming from the right place. And that's what Otis for me. So another one of my good buddies here, Jerry Loves Freedom. Apparently we had a couple people over. Check out Jerry's. I've seen it. I usually hang out in Jerry's chat when I'm doing some work at night, and it's pretty distracting for me, but it's fun. And that's kind of what I said Jerry's theme is. I said it's what I called a fun and welcoming place for Bitcoiners to hang out. That's how I see it. Jerry does a stream. He talks about some Bitcoin stuff. He explains some things if there's questions, but it's really just a fun place for Bitcoiners to hang out and BS. And so make sure you go check out and subscribe to Jerry's channel. Let's get him over 2,000 subscribers. We could probably do it, honestly, from the people watching this stream right now. If everybody went over and subscribed to Jerry's channel, we could push him over that 2,000 subscriber mark and get some traction rolling here. We got to help each other out. We're all on Team Bitcoin here. And you got to ask yourself what part of the Bitcoin team you're on. Are you, do you have a channel? Are you an advocate of Bitcoin? Are you a developer? Spend your time coding and securing the Bitcoin network. Are you a supporter? If you don't like being on camera or, talking about Bitcoin, are you a supporter of the devs and the advocates? You got to ask yourself what team you're on. And you have to play, you have to bump up your role a little bit and do it just a little bit better. That's it. So those are the channels that I would recommend. Oh, and there's one more too. If I could find it here. One more I wanted to mention. Where is it? I got too many subscriptions here. Where is it? Where are you? Oh, well, in the meantime, here we go. Sats Venture. Joey, our good man, Joey. Sats Venture. There you go. I'm going to be doing a video with Sats Venture as well here soon. And one more. I like Joey. He's an Australian young guy. He's got a really good sense of humor, and he's talking about the right things within Bitcoin. So Sats Venture and Maddie. Satoshi Central. Great name. So this is the last one I'm going to share today. Unfortunately, I might do this again once in a while, but I think it's important. We got to support the people who are speaking well about Bitcoin, knowledgeably about Bitcoin, and helping more green lights turn on around the world. So there you go. Hopefully we can get, I'll put if you're watching later, I'll put all of those channels, the links to those channels in the pinned comment as well, or the show notes. Check one of two of those. So there's a little shout outs for the day. Bitcoin Nurse says, the guy Shinobi working on Bitcoin Core gives me serious reservation after watching the debate. I've been watching that guy for the last couple of years, and I've thought the same thing. I think he's a very smart, intelligent dude, but I don't know. Something just didn't sit right with him. Every time I listen to him, and I've listened to him on like What Bitcoin Did. He's been on Citadel Dispatch and Rabbit Hole Recap. And yeah, something about him just doesn't give me great vibes. I don't know what it is, but I haven't watched that debate yet. I'm going to watch it today, I think, if I got some time. Josh, feeling some stress today. How come? What you got going on? Man, I had 1,000 different things to talk about today. And as per usual, we're not going to get to the majority. But anyways, I want to say a couple shout outs here. We had the DCA. So we got a new low in the DCA. I'm going to get through some comments here first, actually. Matrix. Morning, fellow hodlers. Love my stacks from Ledger. Not a promo. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you're serious about keeping your Bitcoin safe, I would strongly suggest a cold card, Jade, Passport. And if you're using a Jade or a Passport right now, order a cold card and then just build it into your multisig. But I don't know. Ledger's probably fine, but we're in the business of the best. When you're protecting the best asset, you need the best security. Keep your sats safe. Air gap security is best. Like you said, Jor, move from Trezor to Passport Core. Love that. Trezor's not bad. Ledger's not bad. I actually trust Trezor more than a lot of things. But yeah, air gapped is the way, because then it never touches the internet. Those keys never touch the internet. That's what people need to understand about that. If you're plugging your Ledger into a laptop or a Trezor into a laptop, I mean, yes, I know that there's secure parts of the device that prevent any transmission from moving backwards, but I don't really know. That's my whole thing, is I don't know enough. So I'm going to always lean towards the side of caution. And I would rather generate my keys offline from a cold card, a Jade, or a Passport, and then sign all the transactions using an air-gapped process, which is never connected to the internet. ISO says, I'm about to graduate from uni and start my career. Is a bad practice to be in 80% Bitcoin? No. If you're in uni, you should be 100% Bitcoin. 100% Bitcoin. If you're 80 and you can't really get through the next, couple of years of volatility without tapping into some of your, if you're depending on that to live as your retirement, it's pretty volatile, truly. I mean, it's going to get less volatile over time. But I mean, if you're like under 30, you should be 100% allocated in Bitcoin, in my opinion, because you can weather the storm. You can get through it. And whatever other wealth you might be holding isn't going to come close to Bitcoin. Yeah, you got to stay liquid, of course. That's why I would suggest keeping like 80-20 is probably fine. 80% Bitcoin, 20% cash, maybe 10% in the bank, maybe 10% in physical cash, something like that. Crypto says, I hate Trump, but I like you, bro. That's okay. That's okay. Everybody's got their own opinions. Until adoption becomes worldwide, I grudgingly need to hold some fiat for a rainy day. Yeah, that's fair. Matrix says, get some cold cards in case they are banned in the future in your country. I could see that. Truly, I really could. And if they're not banned, maybe they'll start getting stopped at borders, or they'll start getting intercepted at borders. And people are going to get smarter about it too. So that's why I'm saying, if you want to get some Bitcoin hardware device, get it today. Hey, we got 88 people in here right now. Love that. Josh says, Bitcoin is Maple Bitcoin is mint. Good chemistry there and great knowledge base. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, I like those guys. It helps when you like the guys that you're working with, of course. Rock Creations, good morning. Oh yeah, some chatting here. Abel says, can you guys tell me why I should switch out of a Trezor? Thinking about getting a Jade. What do you guys think? I just answered that for you. 2 steps ahead. P.dollar won't hold over 100K till Sunday now, guy, or Monday. Going to be a long weekend. Not really. It's going to be a normal weekend. Still have the same amount of sats. Actually, I'll probably have more sats. Jimmy says, some people are truly frightened of the responsibility of forming and owning their own opinions. Yeah, that's very true. Sad, but true. Then we'll get to a point where businesses accepting Bitcoin will charge more if you choose to pay in fiat. Yes, 100%. Oh, it's Thursday today. I forgot about that. Citadel meeting right away. Just got a reminder. M. Vincent says, I've heard but can't understand how to keep my Bitcoin and also use it for retirement income in the future. So here's kind of my thoughts on this. If you were thinking about this right now, and you could kind of, if you still have the ability here, let me start this again, because I'm got thoughts running through my head and I'm trying to speak at the same time. So here's the comment. M. Vincent, I've heard but can't understand how to keep my Bitcoin and also use it for retirement income in the future. So here's what I'd say to you, because there's probably, this would be applicable to most people watching this show, is that keep whatever Bitcoin you have in self-custody, plan on keeping that forever. Or not all of it. You know, you might spend 5%, 2% of it at some point through time, whatever that is. It really depends on where things go here, I think. But what you can do is you can buy things like a Bitcoin ETF. You can buy things like Strategy. You can buy things like Strife or Strike or the Misty. And that's pretty much how I plan on funding my retirement. It's still hooked up to Bitcoin. It's still on the Bitcoin train, but it's going to be much easier for you to access, and you're not going to have to KYC or part with your Bitcoin there. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And I would not recommend anybody selling their Bitcoin to buy these products. Don't do that. Bitcoin is the asset that you want. It is the asset that everybody's going to want. And there's only so many sats that can go around. There's only going to be so many sats that exist. So that's the asset that you want. Bitcoin in self-custody is the asset that you want. But if you have any money stuck in a pension, stuck in a retirement fund, put that into Strategy, put that into Strike. And that's what I plan on using in the future. If I have to sell some, if I can live off the dividends off it, that way I don't have to touch my Bitcoin stack. So I recently bought a little bit of Strike, like the preferred shares of Strategy, because it's basically my bet on the old system existing in a couple decades from now. Because if it is, and Bitcoin does what I expect it to, those shares and those dividends are going to be able to pay for me to live. If the old system dies, I still have my Bitcoin. The majority of my stuff is in Bitcoin, but it's still nice to have some products in that. And some people might tell you, well, you can lend against your Bitcoin. You can, and better products will come around. I don't think we're there yet, but you will be able to go down to your local bank and they're actually going to beg you to deposit your Bitcoin with them and give you whatever dollar we're using at that time. So I don't think it's anything to worry about. I don't know what age you are, but we're not quite there yet in terms of being able to use Bitcoin as retirement. But it is going to be the asset that everybody uses for retirement in one way or the other. But if you can kind of pre-plan for that and you can have a little bit of options and exposure to a couple different products, some in the old system, some in self-custody, that's how you're really going to set yourself up for the future. So that's the mixture that I suggest people have, is the majority Bitcoin and cold storage that you're never going to touch. That's kind of like buying an oceanfront property for your family, or like a couple sections of land for your family. That's your Bitcoin in self-custody. That's what never leaves. That's what you protect with your life. But then you use some of your existing funds in a retirement, in a pension, your work fund, whatever it is. That's what you apply to Strategy, Strike, Strife, Misty, whatever you want to do there. But that's how I plan to fund my retirement with Bitcoin. It's not going to be selling sats. I might part with like 5% of it over time, just with where I can transact privately, peer-to-peer. But for the most part, and I might spend more than that, but I'm always going to replenish it, right? That's the idea there. It's not like I have my Bitcoin stack and for the rest of my life, I'm only going to spend 5% of that. No, over time, I'm going to have to spend less sats because the value of those sats are going to go up. And if I need to, I'm just going to buy more. Like if I needed to buy new tires and the tire shop accepted Bitcoin, I would pay in Bitcoin, but then I would buy the Bitcoin that I was going to spend my money on anyways. So spend and replace. That's the best advice that I can give you with that. Matt says, the most fiat thing that's happened to me this year is my municipality talking about forcing people to use clear garbage bags so their garbage can be inspected, rejected based on the contents. Wow. If you have recyclable items in the trash bags, it won't be picked up. Well, I mean, that is pretty fiat, but I'm not going to tell you what my garbage process is around here. That's pretty advanced compared to what I have for garbage pickup here. But I chose that, I guess, right? I chose that. Killer says, I bought my cold card queue with Bitcoin. Yep. You can. And I shared the link here. It's in the show notes. I'll also put it in the pinned comment, and I'll also put it in the show notes myself. Cold card link. And I got to put links to those other channels as well. I'm getting better here. I'm getting better at doing this. Okay, I want to, I don't have very long here. So unfortunately, I don't have, okay, well, I got through the majority of comments here, but I want to get to this. Because this is why I was talking about the, actually, before we do that, sorry. I can't leave these guys out because this is what keeps the show going, truly. So I want to talk about our DCA for the day. And our DCA is the dollar coffee average, where we have a link where you can buy me a $3 coffee. And depending on how many sats that converts into, that's how we can gauge what the price of Bitcoin is. So, of course, the computer is heating up here right when I want to talk about something important. So here we go. It is May the 8th, 2025. And the DCA, I don't know who these are from. One is from LapPad, I know. And the other one here is from Mark. It says, dollar coffee average, good morning. Just trying to spread some positive energy. Enjoy. Mark R. Thank you, Mark. So they were actually the exact same amount. 3016. 3016, which is our new all-time low, beating out 3080, our previous all-time low. So you can see that these are, they just get smaller and smaller over time. That's going to be our salaries in the future in terms of Bitcoin. In real currency terms, our salaries, our value to the world is going to continue to go down, which is kind of sad, but it just should give you some urgency in terms of getting as much Bitcoin as you can while we can. So that is today's DCA, courtesy of LaughPad and Mark R. 3016, all-time low in sats and all-time high in Bitcoin for as long as we've been doing this anyways. So thank you, fellas. Appreciate that. And if you would like to zap a coffee, you don't need a Nostr account. It's run through Nostr, but all you need is a Lightning wallet on your phone. So I'm going to put this in the pinned comment and show notes as well. And if you're not on Lightning yet, you can also, I have a on-chain address if you want to. Everything's voluntary here. You don't have to do anything. You can support the show if you want. You can just hang out and say nothing. You can be as chatty as you want to. Everything is voluntary here. So thank you. All right, let's get to the heat of it. I'm gonna bring this up here. Hold on. Give me one sec. Give me one sec. Gotta have my shit together before we get into this. As I was kind of going through this today, I'm very surprised that more people haven't been kind of onto this yet. But maybe they have. Maybe they have, and I just haven't seen it. Okay, let me get a little bit set up here. Oh, I wanted to share that, but we don't have time today. Century Bitcoin. All right. So I called this a historic stream today. And the reason why this time in history is so historic, I've got 3 stars beside the live stream today because I want to remember this stream because something is happening right now and the majority of people are missing this. But what's happened over the last week, in my opinion, is we've officially passed the baton. We've officially passed the baton from the greatest investor on the planet, which is Warren Buffett, to the new greatest investor on the planet, which is Michael Saylor. This week, that transition happened. And not a lot of people noticed, but it did. And it kind of started with this tweet here from Michael Saylor. And I'm going to share a couple different things that happened in the last week that relate to this. So this is what Saylor tweeted on May 3rd, 2025. Berkshire Hathaway is a 20th century Bitcoin. So that's how this thing started. And I saw that and I kind of tried to decipher it myself a little bit. And I was like, makes a lot of sense. So I started thinking about it. I started seeing a few more things, which led me to down a couple different rabbit holes. But this is this same week as well. This was on May 5th. I think everybody knows what happened, but just in case, oh my God, you're joking. See, this is the most fiat thing of all time here. This bothered me. Okay, I'm going to remove that for a sec. I'm going to continue with Google, I guess. Put it under the Maple Bitcoin pod. Sorry, Maple Bitcoin pod, but you're going to be getting some New York Times news. Continue without subscribing. What is going on now? This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Okay, show me the article, you dummies. Oh my God, this is nuts. Return to article. Thank you. Thank you. Here it is. My God. Oh, wow. The likes of Warren Buffett will never be seen again. This is a post from the New York Times, which I just had a full-out war with there in my own life. But anyways, there's Warren Buffett himself. I have my opinions on Warren Buffett. You know, he's done some bad things. Probably he's exploited some things that shouldn't have been exploited in order to earn a profit. But you know, he's not alone there. So we should give some respect to the guy. He is an icon. He's done very well for himself and his shareholders. But after 6 decades of pearly wisdom and investment gems, the news from Omaha hit like a thunderbolt. So Buffett announced his retirement. And you can see here that it says, in an age of insecurity. Does that sound familiar? Mr. Buffett was an anchor of endurance since he took the helm at Berkshire on May 10th, 1965. General Motors, then the largest American corporation, has greeted 11 new chief executives. Sears, Roebuck, the biggest retailer, have vanished from the scene. 11 U.S. presidents have come and gone. 2 of them have survived impeachment and forced to resign. And Coca-Cola changed its formula. But Mr. Buffett didn't change his. And it wasn't just constancy. Berkshire's stock that day in May closed at $18 per share. When he delivered the news, it was above $809,000 per share, almost 45,000 times higher. Over the same time span, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up just under 45 times. And if you think about, I'm comparing here Warren Buffett and Michael Saylor because I think that they're going to have the same fate. The world doesn't really see that yet. Nobody really is paying attention to what's happening here, but we're moving through the exact same thing. When Buffett took over, the price was $18 per share of Berkshire Hathaway, $18. It's now $809,000 in, what is that, 65 to 60 years. So in 60 years, Saylor will probably be around, hopefully. And we're going to be having this exact same conversation about the price of strategy going from whatever it was in August 2020, from $20 to the equivalent of like 2 million probably. Because they're doing the exact same thing. And this is what really made me like excited about this. If you think about Warren Buffett, most people know that he built, or he didn't build the railways, obviously, but he helped fund that. He funded the projects, he bought the companies, he built his investment strategy around the railroads, right? Transferring value around the world that could not be transferred prior to that. I think that that's what I'm not overly familiar with Buffett, but that's kind of what I got from a little bit of research. So the railways. And if you think about it, Michael Saylor is doing the exact same thing right now with Bitcoin. Michael Saylor has built a railway via strategy to transfer value from the old system to the new system. It's exactly what Warren Buffett did 60 years ago in a roundabout way. They didn't build the company who did it, but they're investing in using their capital and actually taking other people's money, which is what Berkshire Hathaway did, to do it quicker and faster and get ahead of other people. Strategy right now is over 550,000 Bitcoin. 550,000 Bitcoin. That's why, again, this is a historic moment in time here, because I don't think anybody's ever going to catch strategy. I don't think any country's going to catch strategy. So as Warren Buffett was retiring, he left a quote for people to ponder on. And I was actually going to share a clip of Buffett, but we don't really have time to do it now because of the New York Times. I thought I was going to get cute there and kind of bash the New York Times, but they hit me back there pretty hard. So this is what Buffett said last week. This was on May 3rd. So again, all of this happened within a couple days here. So just in, Warren Buffett says it might be a good idea to own a lot of other currencies besides the US dollar. May 3rd, 2025. What do you think currency Buffett's talking about? He went on about a 2-minute rant talking about how bad fiat currencies are, how bad it is when people and countries have the ability to create money out of thin air. So do you think that Buffett's saying, don't buy the US dollar, but buy the Russian ruble? Or is it the ruble? Or the Chinese yen or yuan? I don't even know what they are. Who cares? They're all completely illusionary. They're literally printed out of nothing. So I don't think that he's saying don't buy the US, but buy another country's fiat currency. I think Buffett's suggesting here, without saying it, to buy Bitcoin. And so as this is happening, as Saylor tweets that, as Buffett steps down, as Buffett says it might be a good idea to own a lot of other currencies besides the US dollar, at the same time, there's a little event happening right now called Strategy World. Strategy World, there's live streams on YouTube. There's people paying lots of money to be at the event with Saylor and the team from Strategy. And how many other public companies are you aware of that have something like that? Microsoft, maybe. Apple has their releases. Berkshire Hathaway definitely has an annual shareholders meeting. That's kind of what made them famous. You had to get a ticket to go watch Warren Buffett give his advice for the year from Berkshire Hathaway, the annual report. So the exact same thing is happening right now with Strategy. Look at the S&P 500. How many of those companies on that list have a party or an event every year for their shareholders to go and celebrate? This is the first year that Strategy did this. It's the 5th year overall. The first 2 were virtual. The second 2 were called Bitcoin for Corporations. And this year, as the baton gets passed from Buffett to Saylor, Strategy World happening right now. It's like poetic simulation, whatever you want to call it. It's very weird, very strange, but it is the baton being passed right now. So with that in mind, I wanted to share some quotes from Buffett because he's been very hard on Bitcoin. I wouldn't say very hard. I think he called it rat poison squared. And I had a discussion with Forrest yesterday, and he said it was his buddy, Charlie Munger. But when I asked AI for some quotes on Bitcoin from Buffett, it said that it was Buffett that actually called Bitcoin rat poison squared. So Forrest, I don't know if I'm wrong about that. That's what AI told me. But anyways, that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about some quotes that Buffett had, because I'm under the full opinion that if Warren Buffett from the 60s was transported to today, Warren Buffett would definitely be a Bitcoiner, without a doubt. But people like Warren Buffett, people like Microsoft, these people do not need Bitcoin right now. They have billions of dollars. The last thing that they want to do is take time out of their day, out of their precious life, and learn about something new. They don't care. They have enough money where even if Bitcoin went to $1 billion, they could still get one. So people like that do not care about Bitcoin. Buffett is one of those people, Bill Gates, Microsoft, all these people who don't need Bitcoin. They don't care. And that's kind of what Saylor's main message was from his speech the other day, is that Bitcoin is on a need to know basis. If you already have a bunch of wealth and you don't really care what the price of Bitcoin does, then you're not going to pay attention to it. But if you do need to know, like I do, like you do, like a bunch of other public companies out there who are basically zombies now, you do need to know about Bitcoin. And so Buffett didn't need to know about Bitcoin, but I'm pretty sure if he was transported to today, Buffett would be a Bitcoiner. I'm going to share some quotes here. This is why I was a couple minutes late for the show today, but I'm going to share some quotes here. These are from Buffett, and I changed the words slightly without adding Bitcoin, but I want you to tell me whether or not Warren Buffett would have been a Bitcoiner. So this is one of his quotes. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule 1. Sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it? Never spend your Bitcoin. Rule number 2, never forget rule 1. Same kind of thing, same kind of vibe. Next one here. If you aren't willing to own an asset for 10 years, this was a stock for 10 years, but I changed it to an asset. If you aren't willing to own an asset for 10 years, don't think about owning it for 10 minutes. Pretty consistent with the message within Bitcoin. For anybody who understands Bitcoin, the green light is on. It's the same message. Don't buy Bitcoin if you can't hold on to it for at least 4 years. But in this case, this is even better, 10 years. So it's the same kind of thing. Don't get into this thing if you think you're going to flip it in a month. So another quote, very consistent with the Bitcoiner mentality. This is a big one, though. This is a big one. Big opportunities come infrequently. When it's raining gold, reach for a bucket, not a thimble. So the main message here for this clip, and I might title it this, is fill your bucket with Bitcoin. It's clear. I mean, he's talking about gold in this case, but we know that Bitcoin is the new gold. Bitcoin's far superior to gold. Bitcoin's significantly underpriced right now compared to gold. So when it's raining, grab a bucket, get as much as you can. Don't dip into this with a couple toes. Understand what's happening here and get as much as you possibly can. It's the exact same thing. This is what I'm saying. Buffett would have been a Bitcoiner. And this one as well. The rear view mirror is always clearer than the windshield. How many Bitcoiners do you know? I'm sure everybody in this chat right now would attest to the fact that if they could go back in time when they first heard about Bitcoin, they would have got way more of it. And it's the same kind of thing. Every cycle, people are like, oh, it might do this, it might drop a little bit. And then when it gets to 10x what it was, everybody's like, well, yeah, it made sense. I mean, Larry Fink was telling people to buy. Donald Trump was telling people to buy. States in the US were creating Bitcoin strategic reserves. It was pretty obvious what was going to happen there. Exact same thing here. The rear view mirror is always clearer than the windshield. And the last one here, the market is designed to transfer money from the active to the patient. And a lot of people are active. A lot of people check the price of Bitcoin every day and they think that they're going to cash out, go back into fiat, they're going to buy a house. Meanwhile, there's people who understand Bitcoin who are waiting to buy those sats. And I feel like this is going to happen over the next couple of years here. And this is what I'm trying to prevent from happening, where Bitcoiners, they run the price up. A bunch of Bitcoiners are like, oh, price is way up. I've doubled my profits. I've increased my holdings here. I have to sell some Bitcoin because that's what people do. And then they trade back into fiat. And then we lose those sats. Individuals lose those sats. Those sats go to BlackRock, the US government strategy, Michael Saylor, and we never get those sats back. So the market is designed to transfer money from the active to the patient. Be patient. Hold on to these sats. Understand what you're holding, protect them. But don't look at this thing like any other investment. Look at this thing as something you're going to buy and hold on to forever. So I thought that was pretty interesting. All of this happened within the last week. Buffett retires. Saylor tweets about it. Strategy World, the first ever Strategy World takes place. Buffett tells people to buy everything except US currencies or fiat currencies. But still, he didn't say buy assets other than the US dollar. He said buy currencies other than the US dollar, which to me is Bitcoin. This happened. This is the historic moment in Bitcoin. I think this week we're going to look back to, and I'm glad that I was able to document it here. Fortunately, I have to go. I don't have time to catch up on all the comments, but I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, sorry, folks. I'll take about 2 minutes here. If there's any questions here that catch my eye, I will touch on them. Ooh, John. Sounds like we need to have a chat because yes, cold cards will eventually die. Every device, cold card, Jade, Passport, Ledger, Trezor, they all have about a lifespan of 10 years. That's why it's so important to back up your seed phrase, but don't put it into metal. I think that that's the worst advice in Bitcoin for serious Bitcoiners anyways. It's a step up from paper, but for serious Bitcoiners, like Daniel said, that's why you have to encrypt those words. So John, I don't know if you're still watching or not, but shoot me an email. Just put super backed in the title of the email and I'll send you some info. We can set up a meeting and explain why you should be encrypting your seed words instead of, oh, Bodhi. Oh, no, I thought this was Bodhi, but yes, Bitcoin Generations. I think we're doing a show today. Let me find that quickly here. Sorry, Bitcoin Citadel, if you're watching this, I'm going to be maybe a minute late here. Bitcoin Generations. I don't know if I haven't talked to Bodhi yet today, but make sure add this one to the list. I'll put it in the show notes as well. But there's Bitcoin Generations link. Make sure you go subscribe to Bodhi's channel there. We do a show every week. Bodhi's a good dude. Bodhi's a great dude. Patty P, you got the eyes on. Bailey, good morning, Bailey. Good to see you, man. Hey, George, just dropping by. I want to say you're doing an absolutely excellent job. Love that. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that. Hey, George, have a like, bro. Have a like? Thank you. Parker, hello. How do I reasonably live if I never sell? I think I covered this today. Did you miss the Bitcoin Well wishing toss? No, we didn't do one today. We've got too much stuff going on. Okay. Matt says it's okay to sell as the purchasing power of your sats goes up, but not to trade back into fiat. Yes, great advice. Great advice. And it looks like I missed a lot of action on the Zap stream today, so sorry about that, Zap stream. We even have Kieran over there, the creator, the maintainer of the Zap stream over in Zap stream. So, what the heck? Oh, we got a couple zaps here for our guy Arnie today. May 8th. Yep. Cleaner Machine just sent in 2,500 sats to Arnie. So if you enjoyed that, if you learned anything, if you agree, if you want to support this channel, you can send it to Arnie's wallet there. It's a really good way to do it. And Cleaner Machine just sent in 2,500 sats to Arnie. And if you don't use QR codes, if you can't scan the screen that you're watching it on, you can also send it to bitcoinjourney@speed.app. And if you're not on Lightning yet, you can find the on-chain address. Send as much as you want. I'm not worried about dust UTXOs. I like on-chain. So I got the on-chain in there. It'll be in the pinned comments. And that's a good way to support the channel. We have no ads. We have no sponsors. We're never going to have sponsors. This is 100% community funded. It always will be, because I want to be able to maintain my voice. And I don't want any sort of outside influence. So it's going to be tough. It has been very tough. But the people in the chat here have been very, very generous for the show. So I thank you for that. Bitcoin Nurse says, I thought the same thing comparing Sailor to Buffett. Strategy even has a swag store for buying items if you're an employee, I heard. Yes. What's going on here? What did I miss? Letha said, I'm looking forward to Jerry and George doing a live together. Oh, yeah. That's right. I'm going to Vegas in a couple weeks. Forgot about that. Yeah, I'll be doing a live show with Jerry from Jerry Loves Freedom. Anyways, good morning, Kieran. Thanks for everything. Appreciate you. And thanks for everybody who sent in some sats today. Very much appreciate it. Thanks for showing up. Hope you enjoyed that. And unfortunately, I got to go. So have yourselves an amazing day today. Stop by. I think it'll be 2 p.m. Eastern time. I might be there, but if not, make sure you go check out Bodhi, the live stream today dedicated to the baby boomers and the new Bitcoiners. So that's it. Have a great day. Thank you again. And we'll talk to you soon. Get that Bitcoin secured. Get that Bitcoin secured. It's worth more than you could ever imagine. Bye-bye.